Good evening. So as I've done the last 3 years, as Rick said, I'd like to take a few moments to reflect on this year, to flesh out some of the programs that we've done and how it is a part of our synagogue life. Each year when summer approaches, I always have this mix of emotions. On one hand, I know that it's only the middle of the year, but the fact is, as a parent of school-age children and as a practicing Jew, I feel like we're ending something, which means that Rosh Hashanah is just right around the corner. For the only holiday we have left is Tisha B'Av, and that's not the most exciting of holidays. So therefore, it's always during this time of year where I begin to work on my high holiday sermons. Yes, I've already started, and I begin to think where we've come from and where we're headed. It's hard to believe that it's been almost 3 years since I've become the rabbi at the synagogue. It was just this past Shabbat, as I said on Saturday morning, that I interviewed on Parshat Shlach Lecha, which we just read this Saturday. Over my 3 years here, I've had the honor of being with families at all parts of the life cycle: brisses and funerals, baby namings and conversions, b'nai mitzvahs and weddings, and everything in between. And I must add that there is nothing more joyous than I see watching babies that I named when I first started, who are now enrolling in our all completely filled toddler program. So it's really exciting to see how our communal efforts are bringing people in. Or people who I converted, I've now done their weddings. It's really a tremendous opportunity. I've seen people of all ages and stages take on new skills in leading parts of the service, and I've proudly watched as our synagogue underwent a strategic planning process that we're now in the process of implementing. Over the past year alone, we've implemented many of our ideas in order to accomplish 3 overarching goals that were set out a year ago at this time. I want to remind you what they are: building stronger community connections, engagement of congregants and prospective congregants in Jewish living, and a development of a robust volunteer leadership structure. Those are the 3 things a year ago at this meeting we committed to working on. It's when you put these 3 themes together that you can see how the vision of our congregation can come to fruition. For example, on our website or in the packet that Rick gave earlier this evening, you can read our vision, that SPS is a vibrant congregation affiliated with the conservative movement, where people of all ages and backgrounds engage in learning Torah, acts of tzedakah, and participate in meaningful expressions of prayer. We go on and on to talk about how important it is to be a part of this global community in which we live. But these are just words if we don't have actions to back them up. Proudly, I can say that our vision is being put into action through what we've been doing. And as I think about this vision and these 3 overarching objectives, I want to share my reflection in the context of the UJA Rabbinic Fellowship that I just completed this past Monday. We had a wonderful session last week at a retreat with John Risquet, the former CEO of UJA New York, who reflected on what leadership meant and how to implement it. And he spoke very clearly about the need for vision, strategy, and strategic purchase. Vision, in his iteration, is where you are headed and why. Strategy is how you will get there, and strategic purchase are the places where you rest, like in rock climbing. As you make your way up and up, you touch down, you put your hand or your foot on something to see where you've gone, to see how far left you have to go. I've already shared the vision for our synagogue, and what I'd like to share now are some of the strategic purchase that I believe we have reached. This demonstrates our commitment to following through on our vision that we set forth last year. Allow me to begin. In order to create stronger community connections, we have held Shabbat dinners, as Rick mentioned, and Havdalahs in people's homes. We've kick-started the Men's Club with 3 successful events, and we started a program just last month with providing meals to families who've had new babies in the week or 2 after they gave birth. At each of these steps along the way, we've made sure that people have become more than just names and faces, but they've become central to the fabric of each other's experiences as part of our shul community. Moving forward, There are many of our newer families that are interested in creating playdate connections, and so just today, Leslie and I were working, and starting this summer, every other week, we're going to have a playdate on the rooftop of our synagogue where families with young kids can come together as they navigate the excitement of having children and doing so in community. We've certainly encouraged more of our community members in Jewish living, whether it's through our new Gan Katan Hebrew school that Leslie led, where parents quoted as the best thing ever, or we canceled ballet, but we kept Gan Katan, which, as you know, to say something like that is huge, to our young professionals service that Rick spoke about, to the I Engage adult learning program, to our movie evenings with John Kenrick, and more. We have learned so much about what it means to be Jewish. We have an adult B'nai Mitzvah class getting started. We have new tunes for services that the Cantor put on our website, and we've participated in immersive travel where we've lived our Jewish values to show that there are opportunities for all people at all stages to be involved. I was so proud to bookend this year with 2 successful trips. We began in August with the Israel trip, where we didn't know until 3 days before if we were all going to go, and I'm proud to say that despite the rocket fire, only one family canceled. And really, when we, as some of you who were there know, we got to Israel, and people in Israel cried and thanked us for coming, because every other trip from the tour company we were using canceled. And we went, and we should be really proud. And then we ended the year with the trip to the South, where people of a variety of ages and backgrounds coalesced around key ideas that are central to the vision here at SPS and lived those ideas out together. What do I mean by this? As Jews, we live in a beautiful tension of being both particularistic and universal. In Hillel's words, if I am not for myself, who will be for me? But if I am only for myself, what am I? By traveling to Israel and hearing a uniquely Jewish story, we were reminded of the importance of the land and the people of Israel to us as Jews. But last month, as we traveled south, we embraced what it means to be fully American and fully Jewish, and that as Jews, we have an obligation to litaken olam, to perfect the world. And we do that by seeing ourselves in dialogue with individuals, by not othering people who are not like us, for we know what it feels like to be othered. And so as we retrace the steps of the civil rights era, we were transported back to a time when the Jewish community played an active role in civil rights, and we were inspired to continue in their footsteps. So in that light, I am proud to be part of the Commission on Religious Leaders of New York City that Cardinal Dolan has arranged. Finally, we are working on a successful volunteer leadership structure that Rick explained. There are 2 areas of success that we've already accomplished. First, in the area of social action. Randy Kanata has successfully chaired the Social Action Committee for the past 2.5 years and now has passed that baton to Evelyn Gomer and Gabby Alper, a wonderful example of people doing great work and passing it on so that other people can continue to do great work. Additionally, as our young professional community has grown, we've found more ways to integrate voices of those in their 20s and 30s into the leadership in the synagogue. Maxine Squires, a young woman who works at United Synagogue, who's been to many of our programs, has volunteered to co-chair a Dorot package delivery program in September. What's wonderful is that her co-chair is Sydney Kramer, a new member of our congregation. So here's the message. If there's something you're passionate about, let us know. We want your help. Speak to Harriet, speak to myself, speak to Leslie, speak to Minna, speak to the Cantor, speak to David. We want to help you get things done. When I think about the Women's League, I think about the fact that Barbara Katz, a renewed member of our congregation, someone who was a member, someone who left, and someone came back, has taken on the position of program chair with the support of Judy Agata, or Jeff Lippitz, with the support of Harriet, and many other men in our community are working to reinvigorate the men's club with several successful events. At the conclusion of the rabbinic retreat that I had last Thursday, each of the rabbis had a chance to write down their rabbinic visions on a strip of paper that were then woven together to make a beautiful, aspirational tapestry of where the Jewish community overall is headed. I wrote the following. As a rabbi, I hope to lead a community that is educated, empowered, and engaged in order to work together with purpose as we work to perfect our lives, our community, our people, and our world. Please know that I cannot accomplish this vision alone. It is only with you, the members of our community who care, who participate, and who enjoy. It's only with the lay leaders led by Rick Kaminer, the individuals who give so much of your time, your resources, your heart, and your soul to the strengthening of our community. To my partners on our professional team here at SPS who work tirelessly day and night for the success of this congregation and Judaism, that I can and want to do this. And it's only together that we will find our strategic purpose to celebrate, and we will inspire ourselves to keep climbing and climbing. In Pirkei Avot, Ethics of Our Ancestors, we are taught, Al tifrosh min hatzibor, do not separate yourself from the community. So in that vein, may you and your families have a wonderful summer. But don't be strangers, as we look forward to seeing you at services, programming, classes, all year long at Sutton Place Synagogue. Thank you.